Hello, everyone. I'm Teresa Caesar, your host of Heart to Talk, the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today and listening to my very first episode. So some of you may not know this, but this podcast is my passion project where I get to share my conversations with you that I get to have amongst brave people willing to share their personal stories and with others that will share information on how we could live a passionate and inspired life. That being said, I thought it would be fitting for my first episode to bring on a person I know that has cultivated a lifestyle that is led with passion and authenticity. Be prepared to hear about hormones and PMS. I bring to you my interview. Today's guest has an engineering degree, but chose to pivot from that career and pursue her entrepreneurial passions, despite social expectations and criticisms. She is now the elite Miss Earth, a holistic consultant that specializes in hormone balancing, founder of Captivate and Sexy Hormones. I bring to you all my beautiful cousin, Annette Mariel.
Hi, Teresa. Thank you for having me on. And I'm just so honored to be here. And I'm so proud of you. Thank you. This is so exciting.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being my first guest on my first episode. I really couldn't think of anybody better because you have always been so inspiring to me. I would love for you to share with our listeners your story of how you accomplished so much in school in your younger years and pulled through, didn't give up, reached for the stars, got your degree. Mm-hmm. But the fascinating part is what you did after you graduated, how you felt, and what decisions you made based on your instincts. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, it's been quite a journey. And what this journey has taught me is really it has made me have a really strong muscle of resilience, if I can almost call it that. It's not really a muscle, but to really begin this story, I have to go back to when I was in high school and I really struggled in math and for a long period of time. And I was beginning to think maybe I wasn't good at all in the subject, but I still continued to work at it and learn it despite not seeing the success I wanted to see in it. Then I had a teacher, a geometry teacher. He presented geometry in a very fun, playful way. We had to build models. And it's like one day I saw the light. I saw the math light. And from there on out, I went from the kid who struggled to the kid who got the highest grades in class. And not only in math, I think because I got the confidence, it translated to all my other classes. So it just was incredible. But then I could have really gone in a different direction because for a period of time, I really thought it just wasn't my thing. And it really was my thing. I just needed the right teacher to teach me, to help me see it in a different light. From that point on, I just continued to do really well in school. And I went on to get a math minor, and I also tutored in math. I, as you said, got my engineering degree. It's been a process, but it really taught me how to be resilient and not be afraid of failure. And when I do fail, I know that all I have to do is maybe look at it from a different perspective, from a different angle, and work at it and be consistent at it, because one day it's just going to make sense. And that goes for anything. So I'm not really afraid of a problem. And then when I was in engineering school, I felt like that training really helps me today, because I had, especially in my upper division classes, I had to look at problems in a way that, from different perspectives all the time. There was not one answer to a problem. So when we were studying for a test, there was just not one answer. We had to apply all of our background in math and physics and chemistry to answer these real world problems. And even though I didn't go on to be this, conventional engineer, I do feel like I apply everything I learned in engineering school to what I do now. And what I do now is I went down more of an entrepreneurial route, but one of my biggest passions is holistic medicine.
I love it. So tell us, and you have two amazing brands, which I'm so proud of you. Tell us about Captivate.
Captivate is really a VIP virtual wellness experience. It's definitely turning into a brand, but I would describe it as an experience. And we have a virtual wellness retreat that we put on every Saturday. And we have teachers from all over the globe that teach their zone of genius. And our goal is to make health and wellness fun, approachable, and we want all the attendees to leave with steps that they feel that they can accomplish during the week. We want them to leave with actual nuggets, golden nuggets of information that they can apply during the week. And it's really gained popularity over the last 2 months.
I can speak from being an attendee that I have left Saturday retreats, virtual, mind you, feeling so motivated to take on my day. So I think it's such a treasure, and I'm so grateful that you have this platform, especially during these uncertain times. It was just this, I looked forward to Saturdays. So you all have to check out her Captivate virtual retreats, and you can see it on Instagram, any of her social media platforms, which will be in the show notes as well. So during Captivate, Annette also uses that platform to showcase her brand, Sexy Hormones, which I love. I love the name of it because it just, anything with the word sexy is just, right? Everybody's like, ooh, what's sexy? So because you think of hormones and you almost want to run for the hills because you think of it as being so negative. Like, here's a woman, she's hormonal, So tell us about Sexy Hormones and your mission.
So, Sexy Hormones is my brand. And the reason why I chose to specialize in hormones is because it really is one of the biggest variables in helping women live a radiant, passionate, and of course, sexy life. Let me give an example here. I'm sure we all have had a moment when we turned down going out, going to a fun event, going to a party, because we couldn't find anything to wear. We couldn't find something that felt comfortable. We had this uncomfortable bloat, or maybe we had weight that hasn't been able to come off despite all our efforts, despite doing everything right. The more our hormones are off, the more off days we will have. The more days we will have that we have this uncomfortable feeling of bloat and essentially PMS. And I know that's not popular, people are trained in our society not to really talk about that. It's just a normal thing. But it's my mission to talk about it because I want to normalize it, because from normalizing it, we can start educating women. And when women are educated in the subject, they realize that they don't have to suffer. There's a lot of ways to help balance their hormones through lifestyle changes, dietary changes, and adding a few key supplements in.
I love that, Annette. And not only that, for the dudes that are listening, okay, don't run for the hills because you heard bloating and PMS. If you have a partner, a sibling, or any best friend that's a girl, your mama, if she still got her period, this is important. This is good stuff. So you can share with whoever all about Annette's Sexy Hormones philosophy and wealth of life transformation as far as empowering women to just take, hormones into her hands, not the other way around. Okay, so Annette, tell us how we can get more educated or more in touch with our hormones.
So understanding your cycle is really the first part of doing this. And women in their reproductive years have a 28-day cycle. And so within the 28-day cycle, we have 4 phases that make up that cycle. And each phase has a distinct energy and therefore a distinct type of work that is optimal during that time. When we schedule our time according to what phase of the cycle we're in, we get way more done with less effort, and we avoid as much as possible burnout, which a lot of women experience. Women experience burnout more than men. When we are working in alignment with how our brains are wired to perform at what time of the month, we, like I said, get way more done with less effort. And the way women start to learn about this is to just start tracking their cycle in a really great, one of my favorite apps. It's called My Flow. You can go download it now. I think it's like $5.99, totally worth it. But you need to, this is a fantastic app that helps you get these incredible data points that we can work off of. And if you want to learn more about this, you can attend one of our Captivate retreats. I teach on there every week, and it's completely free. And then you get also all the other benefits from all the other teachers as well. And then also on sexy hormones, I will have much more information about this on there, and you can work with me one-on-one. And then I will be having a group program launching soon. So many, many options for any of your listeners who want to learn more about their hormones.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Annette. Okay, so before we end the episode, I have 3 questions to ask you, Annette Mariel. First one, what is the most embarrassing thing you've done lately? Granted, there's embarrassing things that happen all the time, but most recent embarrassing moment.
I guess the most recent one is I was working with a business coach, and I had this homework assignment where I had to send in a video of me talking about my brand messaging every day for a week before 6 p.m. And one day I came running in the house, and it was 5 minutes before 6, and all I had to do was film that video. And here I was wanting to be, a star student, film the video and send it in before 6. And I ended up filming it. I had no makeup on. It was a hot day. My hair was a mess, and filming it and posting it to stories. And
the Instagram story? Oh my gosh, so embarrassing.
I cringed when I saw that, and people saw it, and then I deleted it. But it really helped me. It really humbled me, and took me an hour to, maybe the night to get over it. But then I was over it.
Oh, that's what I love about you. You're just so positive. All right, the next one. What's your favorite quote? I'm a sucker for quotes. Quotes. What's your favorite quote?
So one of my all-time favorite quotes is, I forget who wrote it, but it goes like this: success is when preparation meets opportunity. And it's such a simple quote, but it's so true. When we prepare ourselves for a future we want, we actually do end up getting what we want, because we end up running into more opportunity that we may have not had if we didn't prepare.
I love that. I'm going to add it to the bank of quotes. Last question. You got to tell us your favorite book. What's your favorite book?
So one of my absolute favorite books, like this book gets me very excited, is Atomic Habits. And coming from an engineering background, it really taught me to think of systems and optimizing systems and to get a better result. So this book really helps you think about success in relation to your habits and how to build your habits in your everyday life to create the success you ultimately want. So what he says is, if we just focused on getting 1% better each day, then by the end of the year, if we were consistent, by the end of the year, we are 365% better. But what happens is that most people don't have that long-term vision. And if they're just looking at their success day by day, it looks like they're not making much progress. But they just have to have that commitment to the long-term goal. And by the end of the year, their life may be changed. So it's really an important book to read when you are for any type of success you want to achieve.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Annette. And listeners, thank you as well. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining my conversation with Annette Mariel. If you liked what you heard, please hit subscribe and tell your friends. Show notes and information about upcoming podcasts can be found at www.hearttotalk.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll be back in 2 weeks.